This next one, we are asked to graph f of x equals negative 4x squared, and then give the domain and range. Now, as for the domain, you can square any number you like, multiplying it by itself. And you can multiply any number by negative 4. So when we get to the point where it's asking for what the domain is, all real numbers, I'm going to be typing it in interval notation. As for the range, we're going to have to take a look at the graph that we come up with. Now, you should have already learned that y equals x squared gives you a parabola, and what this negative 4 is going to do is it's going to both flip it over the x-axis and stretch it vertically. For example, keep in mind that when you square something, you get a non-negative number. When you square a real number, so with y equals x squared, before the multiplying it by negative 4, we would have these 7 points, which would give us enough of an idea that we're not looking at a line, we're not looking at some V shape, we're not looking at something with line segments being connected. We actually have something curved. So now I'm going to multiply it by the negative 4. Multiply each of these by negative 4. We're going to plot a few of these, see how much is required by the parabola graphing tool on Pearson's MyLab Math. And then we should see within the viewing window that we have the rest of them on there. Also, I was claiming that this should be enough to get a sense of the curvature. But if you're to pick something in between, say 1 and 2, then notice we should have 1.5, 9 on our graph as well. So picking the parabola graphing tool, remember to watch the upper right-hand corner. I'm going to start out with the negative 1, negative 4. I'm reading the first and third columns here. So select the parabola tool, negative 1, negative 4, and then 0, 0. Then positive 1, negative 4. And let's see how it looks that. Said earlier that the domain would be all real numbers, meaning that we want negative infinity to positive infinity. Don't type a sign in front of the positive infinity. Just go with that. The range, by the way, you've got to go left to right, least to greatest, when you use interval notation. And you don't use those curly Q braces around the interval notation. I had the parentheses because negative infinity and positive infinity are not included. They're not numbers that we can reach. This can get as low as we like by picking an x value with an absolute value as large as we like. Then when you multiply by -4, we're going to have negative numbers with huge absolute values, as huge as we like. So this is headed towards negative infinity. And as we go left to right, least to greatest, when writing the interval notation, we're moving up the y-axis. It stops at a finite spot when y is 0. And we know that that 0 is included because x equals 0 produces 0 squared is 0, 0 times -4 is 0. When it's included, use the square bracket. By the way, if you put in x equals 1.5, we were supposed to get -9, and that looks like that is right about here, right around here. So the points I was picking, it was enough. I didn't need more than those 7 points to get a sense of the curvature.